Welcome to Math with Professor V. Here's your latest integral of the day. It's been a while since we did a rational function, so I thought it was high time. We have the indefinite integral of 5x to the fourth plus 7x squared plus x plus 2 over x times x squared plus 1 quantity squared. So if you want to pause the video, give it a try. My hint is you need to start off finding the partial fraction decomposition for the integrand. I think that's not too much of a surprise. So let's hop to it. We have 5x to the fourth plus 7x squared plus x plus 2. And then let's look at that denominator. Thankfully, it's already fully factored. X is a linear factor. X squared plus 1 is an irreducible quadratic, and it's repeated. So our decomposition is going to have the following form. We'll have a over x, a constant over x, and then bx plus c over x squared plus 1 to the first. And then since that's a repeated irreducible quadratic, then I need dx plus e over x squared plus 1 squared. And if you forgot how to set up partial fraction decomposition for this kind of rational expression, then I have a video. You can just review the different cases. It's linked in the description. Okay, next step, let's multiply by the LCD, which is x times x squared plus 1 squared. So on the left-hand side, it's just 5x to the fourth plus 7x squared plus x plus 2. I'm going to have a times x squared plus 1 quantity squared plus bx plus c times x and x squared plus 1 plus dx plus e times just x. And then since most of the factors are irreducible quadratics, I just started foiling everything out instead of trying to substitute in different values of x. So let's start that FOIL party. So 5x to the fourth plus 7x squared plus x plus 2 equals a times, this is going to be x to the fourth plus 2x squared plus 1 plus bx plus c times x cubed plus x plus dx squared plus ex. And then we're almost there. The system doesn't turn out to be too difficult to solve, thankfully. So even though we have 5 constants, a, b, c, d, e, it all falls into place nicely. You'll see. So ax to the fourth plus 2ax squared plus a plus, let's FOIL here, bx to the fourth plus bx squared plus cx cubed plus cx plus dx squared plus ex. Okay, so now let's start equating the coefficients of like terms from both sides. Highest power of x I see is x to the fourth. So we've got 5x to the fourth. So 5 must equal a plus b. All right, moving down, x cubed. I don't see any x cubes on the left. So x cubed must equal c. Ooh, that's great. Then I know c is 0. Let me box that. Next is x squared. So 7x squared. That must equal 2a plus b plus d. 2a plus b plus d. Then x to the first. I have 1x to the first right here. And then I have cx and ex. So 1 must equal c plus e. And then my constant term, or x to the 0 term, let's see what's left. 2, this constant has to equal a. Oh yay, we got another freebie. That's always fun. Okay, so 2 is a. So if I know a is 2, then I can come back to the first equation. That means b is 3. Perfect, perfect. Look at us. And then if b is 3, a is 2. Oh, I can already find d right here. 7 equals 2 times 2, that's 4, plus b is 3, plus d. So 7 equals 7 plus d, d is 0. Oh, wow, wow, wow. And then anybody else? Oh yeah, c is 0, so then e is 1. I told you it wasn't anything wild. So even though there were 5 variables, don't let that frighten you. Carry onward. Sometimes these systems work out even nicer than some of the other ones with fewer variables. Okay, so we're ready to rewrite everything using our decomposition. So we have a over x plus, it was bx plus c, so 3x plus 0 over x squared plus 1 plus dx plus e, so it'll just be 1 over x squared plus 1 quantity squared dx. And what I'm going to do is just tackle each of these three terms one at a time. I'm going to do three little baby integrals. Probably the first two, if you're pretty comfortable with integration, you can just do in your head. But I'm just going to break it down in case anybody's starting off the semester in Calc 2 and they need to go step by step, no problem. Okay, so the first integral that we have is 2 over x dx. Don't forget to write dx. So 2 is just a constant. Antiderivative is going to be 2. Natural log, just don't forget absolute value of x. Plus, I'm going to say c1 because I want to save the plain old plus c for the very end of the problem. That's the grand finale. Okay, integral number 2, we have 3x over x squared plus 1 dx. This one just needs a simple u sub because the degree of the denominator is exactly one more than the degree of the numerator. So I can go ahead, let u equal x squared plus 1. Then du would be 2x dx. So 1/2 du is x dx, which we have right here. So then I can rewrite this now as integral 3 times 1/2 du over u. Let's take that 3/2 outside, 1 over u du. Again, antiderivative of 1 over u is going to be natural log, absolute value of u. I'm going to put plus c2. And then u was x squared plus 1. You know what? That's never negative. So I can just switch to parentheses now. I don't have to keep absolute value bars. But make sure you don't switch to parentheses until you've actually put back x squared plus 1. When you're writing u, you still need absolute value bars there. Okay, so this one's done. 1 and 2 are done. And the third one is the one that requires the most work. But it's okay, it's manageable. So the third one, last term we have is 1 over x squared plus 1 squared dx. And really this squared is what's gonna make this a lot more difficult for us. So we need to do a trig sub. There's no u sub that's gonna save us. There's no x up here, sorry. And this is an antiderivative that we know offhand. So which substitution is appropriate? Well, I have a variable squared plus a constant. So we're gonna go ahead, let x equal a. A is just 1 tangent theta. And then dx would be secant squared theta d theta. All right, so let's see what we got. 1 over, this is x squared, which is going to become tangent squared theta plus 1. All of that's squared. And then dx is secant squared theta d theta. Good, so tangent squared theta plus 1, that's secant squared theta. And then that's squared again. So I have secant to the 4th theta. So this is secant squared theta over secant to the 4th theta d theta. Then obviously secant squared cancels. And then I just have secant squared in the denominator. But secant squared in the denominator is the same as just having cosine squared theta. Good? And then from here, you should just become like a little robot. No thinking. The minute you're doing an antiderivative and you see, oh, cosine squared, you just bust out your half angle identity. So it's 1/2 times 1 plus cosine 2 theta d theta. Even take that 1/2 out, you know. Why is it in the integral? It's not needed. So now we're ready. Let's take the antiderivative with respect to theta. So antiderivative of 1 is just going to be theta. Antiderivative of cosine 2 theta is going to be 1/2 sine 2 theta. And then I'm going to put plus c3. Okay? Beautiful. Now, I need to go back to the original variable of the problem, which was x. And before I do that, I'm going to replace sine 2 theta with my double angle identity because I know when I made my trig sub, theta was my argument, not 2 theta. So we got to get back there first so that the triangle that I'm going to draw in a moment will be helpful. So this is 1/2 times 2 sine theta cosine theta plus C3. And the 1/2 and the 2 just cancel out so beautifully. And then now it's triangle time. So remember, we had made the substitution. We had let x equal tangent theta. Well, that's x over 1, really. So when we draw our triangle, make sure you put theta here and set it up so the ratio of the opposite over adjacent side gives you x over 1. And then using the Pythagorean theorem, the hypotenuse is just going to be, yes, rad x squared plus 1. Okay, so then let's see what we've got. This is 1/2. Now, plain old theta here, you just come back to the substitution and you're going to say, well, if x is tan theta, then theta is tan inverse of x plus 1/2 and 2 are gone now. Sine theta, using the triangle, sine is the ratio of the opposite side over the hypotenuse. So that's going to be x over square root x squared plus 1 times cosine theta, that's the ratio of the adjacent over the hypotenuse. So that's 1 over square root x squared plus 1 plus C3. And then this is pretty much as cleaned up as it's going to get. Let me distribute the 1/2. 1/2 tan inverse of x plus, and then notice this radical sign is going to go away because I have square root times square root. Those undo each other. Or basically 2 square roots make it to the first power, so you don't need to write it. So I'll have x over the 2 from the 1/2 and then x squared plus 1 plus C3. Okay. We finished all 3 parts. We got to put it together. Don't send your professor on a scavenger hunt. That's not right. So all together now, we have 2 natural log absolute value of x plus 3/2 natural log. You don't need to keep absolute value, so I'm just going to write x squared plus 1 in parentheses plus 1/2 tan inverse of x plus x over 2 times x squared plus 1 plus c, where this lovely c at the end is c1 plus c2 plus c3. And that's it. Let's box it with pride. How did you enjoy that problem? It was a little more computational heavy, but nothing unmanageable by any means. I don't know if I would put it on a test per se. Maybe. It's a little long though, you know. Anyways, comment down below. How did you like this problem? Did you do anything differently? Also, if you need to review your trig set, partial fractions, any integration techniques, I have all the video lectures linked in the description. Those can help you out as well. And stay tuned. I have a new video series called Algebra Review for the Calculus Student. For those of you who are going to be taking calculus but maybe have taken a little break in math, or maybe you're a little bit rusty on some of the basic skills that keep popping up and pestering you, like factoring, the laws of exponents, and whatnot. So I'm going to do an algebra review, and then at the end of each of those videos show you how it's integrated in with the calculus topics that you're learning, just to kind of help bring everybody up to speed. So that's it. Thank you guys so much for your support. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Same handle, Math with Professor V. Love you all. Bye.